morning students. Today we are going to start with your second unit, that is optical fiber materials and signal distortions in optical fibers. Firstly, we will learn what are the various types of fiber materials that are used for optical fiber preparation. So coming to fiber materials, before knowing the types of materials that are used, what types of materials can be used, we have to know what are the characteristics it must possess to be a optical fiber. That means we have to learn about the basic requirements of an optical fiber material. Firstly, the optical fiber material must be able to draw into thin fibers. As you know, the optical fiber consists of two parts, that is core and cladding, and we all know that the optical fiber is a very thin cylindrical structure, right? So the material what we are choosing must be able to draw into thin wires, then only it can be used as a optical fiber material. The second requirement is, as we know, the optical fibers carry the information in the form of light. So the light carrying capability should be there in the material what we are choosing, and the materials must be transparent. The material what we are using must be transparent, and the material must have optical wavelength operability. That means it must be able to carry the light at the optical wavelengths. And the third point is, the optical fiber material must be physically compatible and it should be environment sustainable. Environment sustainable. That means in any type of harsh environments we install our optical fiber, the fiber should not get degrade its performance. These are the basic requirements of an optical fiber before choosing the fiber material. So next we will see what are the different types of materials we will be using in the construction of an optical fiber. While choosing the optical fiber materials, mostly two materials will generally satisfy the fiber material requirements, that is glass and plastics. Glass and plastics are more used. Out of this, glass type of optical fibers are mostly used, and they are made up of silica and silicate. Silica in the sense SiO2. SiO2 is the basic raw material for the preparation of glass. Generally in our good olden days, silica is the only material that is going to be used as a glass preparation, and the same thing used to be used in the preparation of optical fiber. Even the telecom sector is used to use this silica type of glass type of optical fibers only. Later on, with the advent of plastic fibers, they are widely used. They have got some demand in certain period, whereas because of its disadvantages they were now less widely used, because what is the disadvantage is attenuation. Rather than glass fibers, these plastic fibers are initially got some demand, but because of its attenuation characteristics, that is the loss of information, these are less widely used as of now, and these plastic fibers are used in short distance communications, that short distance communication up to hundreds of meters, and in harsh environments also they are sustainable. That is the advantage of plastic fibers. But generally we go with glass fibers only because of its own advantages and because of its own disadvantages with the plastic fibers. In the coming slides we will be seeing the differences between glass and plastic fibers difference. Coming to the glass fibers are mixtures of various oxides and sulfides. Metal oxides it can be. Generally, as I have already told you, the glass raw material is SiO2, that is the silica or silicate. It is the main raw material. Along with this silica, we can use any type of metal in combination with this, and the resulting material of combination of this silica with any metal or sulfides, halides, some rare earth metals also can be used and can be mixed up with SiO2 to form a glass molecule. When forming the structure with these different molecules, some may have proper crystalline structure or some may not. If the molecule structure is not properly prepared, that glass will not sustain at certain temperatures and certain environment conditions. So the basic requirement what we have said already for the material what we are using, it has to be sustainable for any type of environment. So while preparing these glass molecules or glass material in combination with SiO2, we have to be careful while constructing the crystalline structure. Or in some cases, while forming this glass structures, there will be some materials left out inside. That means some extra metal elements may get mixed up, or some OH minus ions can get included in this. That means water particles. Even the water particles, if we are remaining in the glass preparation, those will also affect the information carrying capability of the fiber we are going to prepare. So these are the basic things. So these are the basic things we have to keep in mind while forming a glass material for the preparation of the optical fiber. As I have already told you, SiO2 is the main raw material that is used for preparation of glass. The refractive index of optical fibers is around 1.48, and they generally operate at 850 nanometers. And there are certain materials in nature that are available which can provide the refractive index around 1.48 and which are capable of operating at 850 nanometer. So those molecules can get added up with the SiO2. What is SiO2? In your childhood you might have learned glass is prepared from sand. So SiO2 is the raw form of sand. Okay, and so what are the, I have already told you some materials are available in the nature to combine with SiO2 to form different materials. So those are GeO2, P2O5, B2O3. GeO2, P2O5, B2O3, these are some oxides that can be combined with SiO2 in order to form a different glass molecule, different structure of glass. So while combining these materials with the SiO2, we have to keep in mind certain things like it must be temperature compatible. Even at 1000 degrees Celsius, it must be able to operate. And this material new material what we are forming must be able to operate in IR and UV regions, that is optical wavelengths. It must be able to operate, and it has very good chemical durability. Chemical durability means while we are forming this, it should not give any reactions. Okay. So what are the different combinations of GeO2, P2O5, B2O3 with SiO2 we will see, and what are the structures that can be formed. Generally, while we are forming new structures with GeO2, B2O3, P2O5, we can form ternary elements, binary or quaternary. The combinations we call it as three types: ternary, binary and quaternary. Here you can see certain examples of the combinations of GeO2, P2O5 and B2O3. In the optical fiber we have two parts, that is your cladding part and the core part. If N1 is the core refractive index and N2 is the cladding refractive index, for the total internal reflection to occur, N1 must be always greater than N2. That is, the refractive index of the core must be always greater than the refractive index of the cladding. So while choosing these three materials in combination of SiO2 and forming the material for structuring these two parts, we have to keep in mind this condition also. So while combining SiO2 with any of the above materials, N1 greater than N2 conditions should be satisfied. If this condition is not getting satisfied, then the total internal reflection phenomenon will not occur, and these combinations are done with by keeping this condition in mind, right? So how? As I told you, 1.48 is the glass refractive index, right? Here the dopant molecule percentage, and here is the refractive index. From this graph, what we can observe is, by adding GeO2 as your dopant molecule for your raw silica, the refractive index of the silica or the glass material is getting increased, and by doping the glass silica with P2O5 from 1.46, it is a bit increasing, whereas by doping B2O3 as your dopant, what's happening? The refractive index of natural glass is getting reduced. Even by adding F also, its refractive index is getting reduced. So from this graph, what we can know is, if you want to increase the refractive index, we have to add G2O2, GeO2. If we want to reduce the refractive index of the material, we have to add B2O3 as the dopant, and the combinations can be of any kind. Here you can see GeO2 SiO2 is the GeO2 SiO2 is the combination for core, and single SiO2 is used for cladding, and then P2O5 SiO2. P2O5 will be adding up some refractive index to SiO2 in the core section, and SiO2 alone is used in the cladding. And next B2O3 and SiO2 are used for cladding section. On adding B2O3, what is happening? SiO2 refractive index is getting reduced. So at every point of the 4 examples what you are seeing over there, it is maintaining the relation of N1 must be greater than N2. Always there you can observe the cladding refractive index is greater than the core refractive index. If you are using 3 elements in your combination, then it is called as ternary. If you are using 2 elements, then it is called as binary. If you are using 4 elements in the combination, then it is called as quaternary combination. So these are the materials we will be generally using for glass fiber preparation. Now we will go with types of glass fibers. There are 4 different types of glass fibers, and in that the first one is halide fibers, and the second one is active glass fibers, third one is chalconite fibers, and the last one is plastic optical fibers. These are the 4 different types of optical fibers, and now we will learn about these 4 different types of fibers and its characteristics in detail. Firstly, halide glass fibers. Halide glass fibers are made up of halogen elements, that is group 7A elements. Group 7A elements in the sense fluorine, chlorine, bromine and iodine. Compared with the silica and the other glass materials, these halide glass fibers are less reliable and are less used. Generally, by using these halide materials for the glass or optical fiber preparation, they are very less used in drawing thin fibers. So we generally don't use these halide fibers. Next one is chalconite glass fibers. Chalconite glass fibers are also rarely used, and these are composed of 2 or more chalcogen elements. Chalcogen elements in the sense As, Ge, Sb, phosphorus, Te, Se and selenium and sulfur. These are the materials generally used, and 2 or 3 combinations of these materials will be combining a chalcogen compound. When these elements are heated up and mixed up with the oxygen in the free environment, they form the glass fiber. The most commonly used is arsenic trisulfide. Arsenic trisulfide is the first chalcogen glass fiber that was invented, and it is only the most widely used, and it is generally in the deep red in color, and it is very stable at its operation. And these chalcogen fibers can be drawn into thin wires, and they are used for broadband transmission. Even in the starting days of telecommunications, they used to use this chalcogen compounds for the optical fiber preparation. And the chalcogen optical fibers are very delicate in nature than the silica fibers. Coming to the applications, these chalcogen compounds are used in chemical and temperature sensor systems, and they are also used in IR systems, and these are very much stable and can sustain in harsh environments, and they are insensitive to moisture specifically, and they fall into three categories. One is sulfides, selenides, tellurides. Sulfides, selenides and tellurides. The combination of this sulfide combination, selenide combination and telluride combination with other three elements will give a chalcogen glass fiber. The next type of glass fibers are active glass fibers. These active glass fibers are made up of active rare earth elements. When these active rare earth elements are combined with your normal glass, then they form active glass optical fibers. They are used to perform amplification, attenuation and phase retardation even. Okay, the mostly available and used rare earth metals are erbium and neodymium. Neodymium and erbium are the two rare earth metals generally we will be using for combining with the silica to form a active glass optical fiber. The last type of optical fibers is plastic optical fibers. As we have already seen the differences between glass optical fibers and plastic optical fibers, the same plastic type of fibers here. Generally, for the preparation of plastic optical fibers, we will be using perfluorinated polymers or polymethyl ethacrylate materials, that is called as PMMA or POF materials are generally used for the preparation of plastic optical fibers, and these plastic optical fibers are less widely used because of their attenuation. It will lead to the attenuation, but while coming to its stability and its strength, when compared to glass, plastic optical fibers give more strength and they are more flexible even. Because of these two characteristics only, they will be using the plastic optical fibers, and if you want to go for short distance communications, you can prefer the plastic optical fibers even. Plastic optical fibers provide high speed and high bandwidth requirements also. These plastic optical fibers are very flexible, and then they can be easily installed at your destination points, and if you want to connect or if you want to join a glass optical fiber with a plastic optical fiber also, you can use a normal connector type and connect the plastic optical fiber and the glass optical fiber. That means you can use all the standard types of connectors only. There is no special connector prepared for the plastic ones and the glass fiber ones. That is its flexibility nature. The coupling and if the core sizes of both the fibers are same, then they will be easily compatible. These plastic optical fibers generally not only for the fiber preparation, they can also be used for connector preparation even. When you see what is a connector, maybe in the next coming units you will see what are the different types of connectors we will be using. There in the connector also we will have small amount of fiber in order to join two fibers. So for that small part preparation even we can use the plastic optical fibers because of their compatibility. This is the main advantage of plastic optical fibers. I think you have better understood what are the types of materials that are used for fiber preparation and different types of glass fibers. Thank you.